this mess over here. Jeez. Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Sunday Video Update. My name is Jared Fuller. Today's date is Sunday, November 16th, 2025. It is also the 26th anniversary of my journal writing, which I haven't done anything special yet for the day. I usually do what's called a book gathering where I have all my journals out and all my poem projects, and I'll take pictures and stuff like that. But I'll get to that. And it only takes probably, you know, maybe 15, 20 minutes, depending on how much cleanup there is and all that stuff. So usually dad's joining me off camera, but dad had to go uptown to take care of something. I think he said he had to go to the gas station. Amy, she's out in the kitchen. And yeah, so 26 years I've been writing journals. So I guess I can kind of talk about that. No one's I was almost gonna say no one's in chat, but Blade Williams is in. Hi, how you doing, Blade? Good to see you, bud. So a little backstory on how I got started writing journals. Um, when I was a teenager, I had gone through some, really rough depression. I'm doing okay, Blade. Um, I gone through some really rough depression when I was around 12 and 13 years old. And my mom suggested that I write about my day. And so she got me this little black book, which I shared on Facebook. I got this little black book and I was just writing. I figured, okay, I'll give it a try. It was November 16th, 1999. I had given it a title. The journal entry was An Awkward Day. And it's like, okay, I've written my paragraph. I guess I'll write again tomorrow. And then eventually it would just continue and continue and continue and continue. Before I know it, I'm in my second book. I'm in my fifth book, my 10th book, and currently I'm in my 134th book. So I thank my mom, who is currently no longer with us. I thank her for getting me started on writing journals, because even today at age 39, I am still writing journals. Not to mention, I'm doing some other stuff on the side as well. So thank you, Mom, for getting me involved in writing journals, because I thought I would just write a couple of paragraphs. And I've been writing for 26 years as of today. Yeah, a lot of books, Blade, a lot of books. I hope you're doing well out there, buddy. It was mild here yesterday. It was actually quite warm. And then today, now it's only like 40 degrees outside. It's like really blustery compared to yesterday, but it's still windy here. Um, oh, yeah, it's still windy. It's still windy here. But I hope you've been doing well, Blade. Um, I was in Muskegon last week and I met up with a friend of mine. Really, really nice kid. He's like 5 years younger than I am, or 4 years. I'm sorry, 4 years younger than I am. So he's like 34 or no, 35. He's 35 because I'm 39. Duh. Um, the math wasn't mathing for a minute. Yeah, he's 35, and yeah, it was just a great time. It seems like it took me forever to get out to Muskegon, but coming home, it's like I got home in no time. In Rittman, Ohio, it was blowing wind. A tree limb fell off and went somewhere. Yeah, yeah, it's windy here too, up here in Michigan. So, um, but I had a wonderful visit, wonderful time last week visiting with my friend who was originally from Tennessee, and he is a lineman, and he does all that. He's up high up in the cherry picker and replace some power lines and working on transformers and doing all that fun stuff. Um, but he is a really nice guy, and I was happy to have met him. Um, this morning we had a bit of an incident. Um, So as you can tell, I don't know if you guys noticed, but that's not Luna. That's my brother Jay's dog, which he will be going home today. Um, it was about 3 or 4 o'clock this morning. The dog started going crazy, and it woke up Dad. Um, and when Dad got up, he looked outside, and he noticed that there was a golden retriever sitting on our front porch, and he looked lost and lonely and scared. And when I heard the dogs barking, it also woke me up. And so I had come out to investigate. Dad says there's a German, or not a German Shepherd. He says there's a golden retriever on our front porch. Really? So we loaded him up in the truck. He was a friendly dog, a very friendly dog. And we loaded him up in the truck. I said, Dad, I don't know where you plan to take this dog. I said, but what I'll do is I'll take a couple of pictures. I'll put them on Facebook. I'll put them in the local uh, town happenings page, and it's bound to reach the rightful owners, and I made a public post on my Facebook in addition to, I made a post in the town happenings group. So we had driven uptown, and when we got back home, Dad got a phone call. And he says, or the person said, yeah, that's our dog, and they gave us an address. And when we returned the dog back, they were just so elated to see their baby back home. And the dog started wagging his tail 100 miles an hour. The dog's name was Yeti, by the way. And he belongs to a family just a mile away, right over on the highway. He had a lot of mud, like he was soaking wet from mud and all that, because he had cut through the woods. He must have cut through the woods and through the fields, because the fields are very saturated from precipitation and things like that. And what happened was that because it's hunting season now, I'm kind of wearing my camouflage to commemorate the fellow hunters out there. If you're a hunter, good luck to you and be safe. But the popping of guns from the deer hunters had frightened the dog, and he got scared and took off. It's any wonder he made it as far as he did, without getting hit by a car or being shot by a hunter. So we are actually so grateful that we were able to return the dog. We gave him food and water. We are so grateful that we were able to return the dog to its rightful owner. Yeti is a beautiful dog. He's a golden retriever, uh, and then after we got home about 7 o'clock this morning, we crashed out. We went to sleep. In Rittman, Ohio. Okay, I read that. In Rittman, Ohio, is blowing wind, a tree limb fell off and went somewhere. Outside my house, someone is riding a lawnmower and he's getting pulled over. Uh-oh. How you doing, King Bob? So it's been a busy week. It's been a busy day so far. And I still have my little celebration that I do for my journals, as I was explaining at the top of the show here. King Bob, you were a little late coming in, but um, I'll explain it again because it's such a good story. So today, 26 years ago today, I started writing journals. I was only 13 years old. Back then, I was going through like a really bad depression, and my mom had got me this little black book. What time is it for me? It's 3:08. So my mom got me this little black book, and she says, "Write out your feelings. Tell me what's on your mind." So I just started writing out some things. And it's like, okay, there's my paragraph or two for the day. I'm done. But then eventually, she would say, write another and keep going. Eventually, I'm in my second book. I'm in my fifth book, my 10th book, my 100th book. And currently, I'm in my 134th journal. And today, I started writing 26 years ago at the age of 13. So, Mom, thank you for getting me started on this long writing adventure. I thought I would have quit a long time ago, but I stuck with it, and um, it was just one of those things. My mom got me started on it, and now that she's gone, I'm thinking that my writing and keeping journals and all that stuff, I think it's taken on a new meaning since mom passed away a couple of years back. So I think that's one of the reasons why I still write. Um, but I started book 134 on New Year's Day, and here it's already November 16th. Usually I get these books written and, these journals are done and out of the way, but I get so sidetracked with other things. And, a lot of other things, it just takes up so much of my time, but I'm still writing. I'm 39 years old currently, and I still write journals. I still keep a daily log of my life. Um, but I've been slacking a lot too, so it's not necessarily daily anymore. But I enjoy writing, and it's stuck with me for over a quarter century already. So 26 years ago today, guys, I got a kitten. His name is Henry. Cool. But this week, um, we're going to be going out to a town called Durand because a friend of ours is building a wooden crate for us, like a 3x3 wooden crate, and it's going to go over our well for our where the pump house is. Um, and we're going to insulate the inside of it, and we're try to fit it over for the time being, and then we can just go from there and see what else we can do with it, and hopefully keep it warm enough so the water doesn't freeze. Because we've been having issues with it every winter when it gets brutally cold, the pipes freeze, and then we go without water. And then I do the old fashioned thing by taking a big pot, like my stock pot, loading it up with fallen snow, melt it on the stovetop, and there I go. I got hot water. Can you show us the book you are working on? Sure. I'll go get it. It's not next to me. You guys don't want to see the mess that's off camera. Uh, I have so much work to do. It's not even funny. But yeah, yeah, Blade, I can show you the journal that I'm writing right now. Give me a second. I'll be right back. So as you can tell, I'm not writing in little black books. I printed off the labels. Where it says book 134, I actually printed that off because of course, you don't buy them in the store like this. But the composition books, this is what I've upgraded to because they're 100 sheets, 200 pages, and um, yeah. Do you plan to publish books? I get asked that a lot. So I was propositioned with this idea that I should write a story about my battle with childhood cancer because I have been a survivor now for 36 years. And I keep getting asked the question, are you going to write a story and are you going to have it published? The truth is, I haven't gotten started on that if I wanted to do it. And I think if I actually did get a book published, I would, I would have to work out a deal where a certain percentage of my book sales would go towards funding and research for childhood cancer. That's how I would want it done. Um, it's not for publicity. It's not a get rich quick scheme. It's sharing my story and providing hope for other families, which I do anyway for free. If I can be honest, I go on Facebook and, I've talked about childhood cancer here on this channel any number of times. And, I just assume tell people. I just, assume telling people for free because they're looking for people who are survivors, and it gives them hope. And it's just like I had made a Facebook post, just, I mean, just before I went on air here, and I can read it to you guys because I was recently asked, do I experience a thing called survivor guilt? And survivor guilt is a very real thing. People like to pretend that, oh, it's a made up concept, to act as a crutch for attention and blah blah blah. And I tell them you are sorely and sadly mistaken. Survivor guilt is a real thing. And I'm going to read the post. I'm going to read this post and see what you guys think. I was asked, do you ever feel survivor guilt? Yes, every day. When I talk about survivorship, I don't use that as a way to rub it in, and I'm sorry that anyone would view it in that way. I use my story as a point of reference to set an example of strength for all the kids who are currently in treatment. I never want for these kids to give up. And if I can use my story of strength to empower these babies to keep fighting, then so be it. I was a baby when I had cancer too. I was only 2.5 years old. The truth is, every single time I read a post about a child who passed away as a result of cancer, it cuts deep into my soul. And I do feel a certain amount of guilt for having survived something that these babies did not. My hope is that I read more survival stories and watching these babies ring that end of treatment bell, something I never got to do, so we can celebrate that victory together. It devastates me to read about a child passing away, but I also understand that this is the territory of the childhood cancer demographic. Unfortunately, the outcomes are not always in our favor, and I think that's the main core and driving force behind my advocacy. I survived childhood cancer, and I will always want for your babies to survive it too. I'm constantly rooting for your babies, even when I'm not outwardly expressing it here. When they don't survive, it rips me to shreds inside. Survivor guilt is very real. It's not some made up concept or a crutch for attention. Even as a survivor, I try to avoid being so ostentatious about my survivorship, but I use my story of strength to inspire and encourage these babies to fight, fight, fight. So, does Jer Bear experience survivor guilt? More than I'll ever care to admit. Hashtag childhood cancer awareness, hashtag survivor guilt. That was the post. Um, do you feel happy that you survived cancer? Well, yes, I'm happy that I survived cancer, but I also carry survivor guilt. Yeah, well, not now, I don't. I just drink Pepsi. Hi, Linda, how you doing? I can I make a video on your story? I am famous. You're famous, Blade? Really? I have a famous person in my chat? Didn't even know it. Um, I'm happy that I survived, but it's both, King Bob. I'm happy that I survived, but there's also a certain amount of guilt because these kids did not. And for me, that's very personal because I always want for these kids to survive. I never wanna read or hear about a child dying, you know? It's horrible. It's a horrible thing to have to experience. I've been to funerals of children. I've seen children in caskets, and it's not pretty. It's not it leaves a very unsettling feeling in the pit of your stomach. It's not something I enjoy. However, I went to show my support for the families because I felt that I could have been there to show my support for them. Um, 1.16 thousand isn't being famous. Well, maybe I mean, he's got a nice following. I had um 1,600 subscribers when I had All Things Jared, but then a bunch of obnoxious little bitches decided to report the channel and have it taken down. That's why with the Jared Fuller Show, I'm doing things much more carefully and not as discreet, but I'm doing things much more carefully, and I'm taking different approaches. So that way I'm not violating the terms of service for YouTube because that was just a crock of shit. Um, but that was a question and that was your answer. I shouldn't be talking. I only have 119 See, I've got on my the Jared Fuller Show, I've got like 80 subscribers. You know, when I had All Things Jared, I was really popular. And then that went away really quick when the channel got taken down, which sucks. And that's why I'm trying to get all my subscribers back. Let's see, the Jared Fuller Show. I'm gonna check YouTube right now. The Jared Fuller Show. So I currently have 81 subscribers and 170 videos. I thought I would have more than that, but the thing is, I kind of fell off, I guess. I'm not as popular as I used to be because I haven't really put a lot of effort into the Jared Fuller Show yet. Um, yeah, so I don't I guess I fell off. The video will be like from your perspective on how people make fun of it. Well, they don't make fun of it, Blade. It's just they don't understand. From my point of view, they will never understand unless they too have had to go through that. Um, it's not something that should ever be taken for granted being a survivor, but it's also something that most people don't understand. And I by all means, I don't want them to understand what I know because that means they too would have had to have gone through it and gone through the experience that I did. I wouldn't wish that on anybody, not even my worst enemy. And I've got enemies, trust me. Um, but they don't, they don't get to live rent free in my head. I'm too busy doing my own thing and trying to make a difference. Um, if we're talking about YouTube now, I just filmed a video which has over 2 hours of footage that's gonna be a pain in the ass to edit. Yeah, that 2 hours, yeah, for sure. Oh, my bad. Oh, no, 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 you're good, Blade, you're good, you're good. No, you're good, buddy, you're good. Nope, it's just one of those things where, we have a lot of people in my demographic, the child of cancer demographic. These are people who I mean, the outsider types, where I'm not talking about guys like me who are in this demographic organically. I'm talking about these outsider types who are just here to get attention, like Jordan Bellows. She's she's never in her life had to go through this ever. And she has a nonprofit organization called WHIP Pediatric Cancer. I shouldn't even be giving her that, the publicity, but here we are. Um, she knows nothing of the struggles of a child of cancer survivor or a family who's going through it. She thinks in her own mind that she has to have her name and her face plastered all over the fucking place, which is annoying and it's obnoxious. There's a page on Facebook called Rick Carl Good News. I don't really care for him either because he's another one who likes to grandstand at the expense of people who are down on their luck and going through some of the most traumatic shit you could ever imagine. These kinds of people need to go away. Leave it to us. Oh, 1 second, guys. Knock it off. Knock it off. Back up. Back up. All right, Dad, go ahead. Come on, guys. Come on. Sorry about that, guys. But these people who like to grandstand, they need to fucking go away. They need to vanish into obscurity. Go find something else to you know, get your name from. Get your name out there. Do they actually make profit? Some of them do. Yeah, actually, yeah, they do. They if they're not profiting monetarily, they are profiting with popularity, which is still just as equally awful. And I think a lot of these people who attach themselves to a cause like this, because I always say there are lots of different causes they can raise awareness to, like autism, um, what's the other one? Muscular dystrophy, cerebral palsy. There are lots of different causes that they can adapt to, and but why childhood cancer? I mean, I don't argue the fact that people should be raising awareness to childhood cancer, but as long as they're keeping it about the kids and not themselves. And that's what I'm upset about. That's what I gripe about so much. There are too many people out there who are using this to their own advantage. If you're going to raise awareness to childhood cancer, keep it about the kids. Don't make it about you. Now, from where I sit as an insider, I actually do talk about my story. I can actually say, this is what I know. about the experiences that I've had, although I was 2 years old. It's documented. I have paperwork. I have the battle scars still on my body after 36 years. They don't go away. Little secret. Spoiler alert, battle scars don't go away, not always. I come from that place. So when I see other people going through this and they you know, these people, they're vanity vultures. These people who are not in any way affiliated with childhood cancer, they are looking to have their name and their face plastered. This stems from childhood psychological whatever, like they didn't get loved enough. They didn't get hugs enough when they were kids. They weren't invited to birthday parties and, you know, they were disenfranchised, discarded, overlooked. And now that they're older, they're trying to make up for a childhood trauma by banking and sponging off the backs of kids whose only focus is to survive something like childhood cancer. And you've got adults, grown adults, who are using this demographic as a band aid to heal a gushing wound that they sustained from childhood. I think it's bullshit. Do something other than using kids to make yourself look like a hero. That's what I'm sick of. And I don't make myself, I don't think I'm any kind of a hero. I don't view myself as that. I hope no one views me as a hero. It's kind of embarrassing. Um, and it's embarrassing because I'm just another guy who survived cancer as a child. I'm just another person. I'm another human being. I do what I can to help, but I'm also very reserved, you know. I don't like to be all up in everyone's face and everyone's business. I do what I can to help, but then I also step back. When I've done my good deed, I kind of retreat back to myself. Um, I don't like this idea that there are so many people who are using this demographic just to make a name for themselves. And it's really embarrassing and insulting to the people who are going through some of the most horrible, traumatic events of their lives. Um, they don't understand what it means to actually have to go through that. But even though I help people, I also remain reticent when I think it's necessary that I do. Do they say they do it for philanthropic reason? Well, it's their actions. They can say whatever they want, but their actions kinda tell a different tale, if you know what I mean. But, Dad's joined us. Dad is back from uptown, and as you saw him walk through behind me in the camera, I'm pretty sure Dad's gonna come back out here to join us. Because we got, like, another half hour of the Sunday video update. Dad, are you up? Are you down for that? Okay, we'll be waiting for you. Come and knock on my door, come and knock on my door. We've been waiting for you, we've been waiting for you. Where the kisses are hers and his, three's company too. Scrap that. You did not just hear me sing the theme song to Three's Company. Scrap it. Um, but I do like John Ritter and, uh, Suzanne Summers. I couldn't think of her name. Joyce DeWitt. Oh, you brought me another glass? I've got 2 glasses right here. That's okay. It's alright. I was just telling our audience about my trip to Muskegon and the dog that we returned. Um, the thing about that too, when we were driving into Chesaning because we were trying to just out of curiosity, like, maybe someone driving around, we even went to the police station this morning. And they suggested we call animal control. It's like, we don't wanna do that. We don't wanna go that route because someone may be actively looking for their baby. And they were, and so I'm glad that I put Dad's number out there and, yeah. Yeah, we no more than got back from town, and Dad got a phone call, and we fed and watered him. And when he was sitting on my lap on the truck because there's only room for 3 people in Dad's truck. There's no extended cab. So the dog Yeti was sitting in between Dad and myself. I was over in the passenger side. Dad was driving, and Yeti put his head down on my lap and like he was scared. And I was gently petting him. I said, "It's gonna be all right, baby. We're gonna get you back home. Don't be so sad. We're gonna return you. We're not gonna hurt you." I'm talking to him and gently petting him, and he just put his head on my lap. It's like, "It's gonna be okay, baby. We'll get you home." And thank goodness Dad got that phone call. Um, what are you doing shining the light in my face? Okay. Okay, but you don't have to shine it like right directly in my face. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you had to shine it in my eyes to prove it? Well, I can see, but I got this light up here trying to fucking blind me. But when we got the call that it's like, yeah, that's our dog, that's our dog. So it's like, give me your address, we will return him. And luckily he was just a mile away from home, just right over here. His name is Yeti. Yeah. And I said, well, what's your dog's name? Yeti. Okay. Yep. And when we took him back home, and his tail was wagging 100 miles an hour. It's like, hey, I recognize my humans, and his tail's just wagging. It's like, nah, that was so heartwarming. Yeah. Yeah. It was a young couple, they live in a farmhouse, and um, they were really happy. They were so happy. And we told him we fed and watered him. He looked like he was probably hungry. And so we had like a little dish of food, and I held it for him while he was eating out of the dish. And we were driving down the boulevard in Chesnang, and it was a long morning. It was a long morning. When we got back home around 7 a.m., I crashed out. I went to sleep. I took a nap, and I slept for like 3 hours. Um, but yeah, so it's been a long weekend. Um, we had propane delivered, and we haven't had to use it yet. But it has been chilly outside, and we have other ways of keeping warm. Um, I have not heard anything about a snowstorm coming in. The last snow we had, which was the first of the season, that just came and went. Like it stuck around for a little while, then it was gone. The ground was still warm. That's why. Um, I can check the forecast. Well, wait a minute. I think I have the forecast. Oh, maybe not. Um, Todd Snyder dies. He was an alt country singer. By the way, speaking of country music, um, there will not be a Fox Sunday flashback tonight because of Detroit Lions football simulcast on the station 103.9 The Fox. So Dan will return next week with a brand new edition of the Fox Sunday Flashback. So no flashback tonight. If you ever got the opportunity to become CEO of the Make-A-Wish Foundation, would you? Um, I don't know. I'm not really big on, popularity and notoriety. I'm not really, you know, I live kind of a private life. But to help kids, that would be my only focus, not to be put on a camera like I am now. Um, but I think I would want to just more and less help the kids, not to be like I should only be, how do I say it? Because I really don't want publicity for that. Yeah, I want the babies to have the spotlight. I, with your permission, will screen record some clips of you sharing your story. That's fine. I give you permission to do that, although you don't have to, Blade, because I know that you are mainly known for like doing weather stuff, which I have a couple of NOAA weather radios, and I watched that one video where you were testing the warning alerts, like the tornado warning, severe thunderstorm. Because up here, well, you know, Blade, if you're in Rittman, Ohio, a fellow Midwesterner, we get wicked snowstorms up here in the Midwest. Um, so I pretty much, I was kind of curious how you did that. One sec. Okay. So, huh? Yeah. So Blade, there's a young man in my chat. His name is Blade Williams. He is really big into weather. And I think one day he's going to make one hell of an awesome meteorologist. And he lives in Ohio, and he gathers weather, like the weather reports. He he'll turn it into his local National Weather Service office, and they yeah, I mean, he is one awesome kid. I'm fascinated with weather too, because the snow that we had here last week, it was lake effect, because we had a north wind coming off the lake and off Saginaw Bay, and there were, it produced heavy snow bands. That's why we had whiteout conditions for a minute, but the snow went away because the ground was still warm, and the system just kind of, the low pressure just kind of moved off. Yeah. The drastic swing of the air temperature is making everybody sick. Oh, Blaze says he was on Fox 8 TV. So is that like a local station where you are, Blade? The CEO does not get publicity because they only take care of the corporate side of Make-A-Wish. I mean, even with that being said, I just want to do what I can to help the babies. That's all. I mean, there are times when you get CEOs on camera where if something big happens, well, we want to get the CEO's perspective on this. The big wigs, the big shots. I just want to help the babies. It's not about me. Never is it about me. Even when I'm doing things, every time I help a family, and trust me, I have been doing a lot to help families. Um, it's not about me. What's that? Yeah, it's not about me. It's not about my name. It's not about what Jer Bear did. Jer Bear's just my nickname because I had cancer. What I do for other people, and the fact that they benefit, they are a recipient of what I do, that's what matters to me, that I can help. I don't need my name written everywhere. And before you got home, I got into this kind of a tangent about these people who are sponging publicity and popularity when they are not involved in this in any fucking way. And they are sponging the publicity and the popularity off of these families because they're vulnerable. Their kids are sick, their kids are dying. And this Rick Carl, which I'm really not liking him. I really despise this guy because he made a post about a cancer warrior who passed away last month. He is from Alabama, and he went all the way to Rome, Italy to get treatment. Rome, Italy. He passed away anyway. And this motherfucker on here, this Rick Carl. Oh well, I got a text from his mom last night. But dude, no one gives a flying fuck that she texted you. Nobody cares, you grandstanding asshole. Nobody cares that she texted you. This is the shit that I'm talking about. Oh, because we're so close and I want to be a part of this and I want to be in it. Oh, she texted me. No one gives a fuck. I guarantee no one gives a fuck. So that's the stuff that really irritates me. And you get these outsider types. Oh, well, once upon a time I did this for this warrior and I did that for that warrior and that was a great time and blah blah blah. And because of me, blah blah blah. Fuck you. Nobody cares. Are you ready to tell your story? I'm not forcing you. Well, that could take a while, Blade. That could take a while. Um, you could start a GoFundMe and donate the money to help fund the cure for cancer. Well, it's far more than that, King Bob, because we have a situation where the federal government, um, they earmark so much of that money, which is not much, into funding childhood cancer, into research. 4% of the federal budget is earmarked for childhood cancer. That's not a lot. That's 4 pennies out of every dollar. That's not shit. That's nothing. Um, and we've been advocating for years to push that, to get that number higher, to make it a national priority so the government will step in and allocate more money to funding and research. But it just doesn't work that way. Is he going home today?
I'm waiting for her to call.
Well,
Waiting for her to call me because I ain't gonna take him out there and job him because she ain't gonna take care of him out there.
He's already taken BB shots.
Huh?
what?
Those dogs have already been hit with BB shots.
I don't know. I think he wants that.
I don't care if it takes long. Well, it'll take a while, Blade. My story is quite extensive. But in shorthand, I can tell you. Let me take a drink of my pop here real quick.
Now you two straighten up.
I can tell you, Blade, that when I was 2 years old. Oh, 1 sec. Okay. So Blade wants. My story, it's very long, but I'm going to give you the shorthand version of how we found out that I had cancer as a child. It's going to be very shorthand because I've got 15 minutes left on the clock. Okay, so here we go. When I was about 2 years old, I had a bulged stomach. I was running fevers. My mom tried to break the fevers with children's Tylenol, lukewarm baths. Nothing worked. Nothing worked. My belly button was sticking out from my stomach about 1.5 inches or so. My mom took me to Memorial Healthcare in Owasso, Michigan, where I was born. They ran some tests, and it came back that I, in fact, had a Wilms tumor or nephroblastoma. That's the clinical name. The tumors themselves are called nephroblasts. And what they did is they sent me to Lansing to Sparrow, where I had chemo radiation. They took my kidney out. They surgically removed it. I'm 2.5 years old. And my treatment ended when I was 3. And this all occurred in 1989.
And thank God we had a great doctor.
Yeah.
That told you.
Yeah.
You get him in the hospital.
Yeah. Dr. Forsythe was the name of our family doctor. Henry Forsythe. He was like the Marcus Welby MD of Chesaning. If you don't know who Marcus Welby MD is, look it up. He knew his shit. And I probably shouldn't swear, Blade, because you're recording me, but it's whatever. But he was a good doctor. He passed away, but he knew what he was doing. And he's the one who told me, he says, well, we're going to send you to a big city and you're going to meet, lots of wonderful people. You got an owie in your tummy. You got an owie in your tummy. And I'm going to send you to a big city, a big hospital, and they're going to take really good care of you. And they did. And 36 years later, here I am talking about it. So I am a childhood cancer survivor of Wilms tumor, kidney cancer, nephroblastoma. I've had 1 kidney since 1989. I was diagnosed on March 2nd, 1989 at age 2.5. And my port was removed on September 21st of 1989 at age 3. I had chemo and radiation. I had vincristine, which is a common chemo among cancer patients, both young and old. I had the Red Devil, which they call it the Red Devil because of its distinctive red color. It's adriamycin doxorubicin. and then I had actinomycin D. I had 3 chemos. I had like 8 rounds of radiation, I think. Something like that. Dad's watching a football game. So I was in treatment for 6 months, but I was 2 and 3. Huh?
That was the longest 6 months I ever had.
Yeah, that was the longest 6 months of my life and Dad's life and my mom's life. And if she were here, she would tell you that it's not anywhere that a person wants to be, especially when it comes to their kids. And
Whoever always tells me, "Oh,
Yeah.
I know how you feel." No, you don't fucking know how I feel.
Yeah.
Because your child has never had it. So how the fuck could you
Yeah.
tell me how you feel?
and that's
Oh,
and that's my frustration.
it irritates me.
That's my frustration. Is you have these people like the Rick Carls in the world who are grandstanding and trying to make himself look good at the expense of other people. It's the Jordan Bellows types. Now she has a nonprofit organization. I could care less about it. And when the child can't, she gets so close to these families, and there was one warrior who passed away. And Jordan had spoken at this child's funeral, making it about herself. And that's what irritates me about that. It's not about you. This is about a child who had given it their all. They fought tooth and nail with everything they had. This is not about you because you want to have your name plastered everywhere.
And people never say never. It can never happen to your child.
Yeah.
I'll call you a fucking liar.
Yeah. It can happen. No one's out of the woods.
I have a niece right now that's going through chemo and radiation because she has breast cancer.
Yeah.
And she's going through some shit right now. I know exactly how Elaine feels.
Yeah.
Sister-in-law and my brother, I know exactly how they feel because I've been there.
Except I was just very little. And you don't want this. It's not a life you want. And there's too many people out there who are sponging the popularity and the publicity. Oh, look what I did. Look what I did. Nobody cares. You grandstanding fuck. Nobody cares. And I want so badly just to go off on Facebook and just say, "Hey, I am sick to death of people doing this. This is not about you. This is about a child who, with everything that they have, being so young, they have to learn very early in their lives, as I did. I had to learn how to be strong. It's not easy. I can tell you, it's not easy. And then I get people saying, "Well, Jared, you were too young to remember all this." What the fuck does that have to do with anything? I still went through it. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for those dedicated medical experts in Lansing, Michigan, who saved my life. It's got nothing to do with not being able to remember. That's irrelevant. I still went through it, irrespective of the fact that I can't remember what happened. I still went through it. I remember my cancer checkups post childhood cancer. I remember going to East Lansing 3 times a week for checkups. That got really old really quick. But it had to be done. It had to be done. They needed to make sure that there was no further development of cancer cells. They wanted to make sure that the cancer, after they had taken the kidney out, they wanted to make sure that it didn't metastasize in my lungs, which Wilms tumor is known for that. If it redevelops, it's going to be in your lungs. It's going to be in the chest. Now, I've made it 36 years since then. I've made it this far without having cancer metastasize or redevelop. And no, that's how old I'm gonna be. But my survivorship is 36 years. Next March will be 37. I've made it this far, but I never take a single day for granted because one day that could change. I'm not saying it will. I'm not saying it won't. I can't predict what'll happen.
One day at a time.
But I wake up every day. I put my best foot forward. There are families out there who depend on me, and I'm there for them as much as I can be. I'm not trying to be Mr. Everything to everyone. I don't have specific cults and groups to join. I don't have secret groups away from social media or anywhere in the real world. Well, let's all gather up and dump on this guy that we don't like. That happens on Facebook too. I'm better than that. I'm superior over that. And I'm superior over the people who do this shit. And I sure as shit, I'm not using other people's stories to make a name for myself. It's very relatable to me. It'll always be relatable. That's why I reach out to so many people because I don't want them to feel as though they are walking through darkness alone.
No one's there for 'em.
I've had people block me on Facebook from the child of cancer world. Oh, fucking well. I don't even care anymore. But the ones who I'm still connected with, I do the best I can. I stay focused and I'm always reinventing myself in ways of helping people. But I don't make my, when I help people, I don't make it known to everybody. Not everybody needs to know what I do. They don't need to know who I talk to. They don't need to know who I meet up with. They don't need to know who I'm helping or why or how. They don't need to know shit. The only people who need to know are the people I'm helping. That's it. I'm very reticent about personal things like that. I don't make it known. I do what I do and I move on. And I've earned the respect of so many of these people over the years. And even the recent friends I made, on Facebook. I have earned their respect. They've asked me questions. I've given answers. But I'm not the tell-all of tell-alls because my story is not blanket. It is not a pat answer to everybody's questions. Cancer affects different people differently. And I give my perspective and I say, this is what I experienced. This is what I went through. And I remember the checkups in East Lansing very well. I remember them so clear and vividly as though they happened just yesterday. And yesterday I was on Owasso. um, but it happened, my checkups were 35 years ago, at least. Um, but I'm tired of people who have never had to go through this life, pretend as though they know, and then you get idiots and jackasses like Rick Carl. Oh, well, doesn't even have a kid fighting cancer, not even no childhood cancer, relation of any kind whatsoever. Oh, well, the mom of this warrior, she texted me this morning. Dude, nobody gives a fuck. No one cares. Nobody. Take your grandstanding and stick it up your ass because nobody cares. And that goes for anybody else out there who's watching this and you're on the outside looking in trying to make a name for yourself at the expense of other people. Fuck you. You're nothing. How dare you? So those are my thoughts and my words, which, I haven't changed position on any of that. I've been saying this for years. I was saying this when, the mob was coming at me because, that Jared Fuller, you got to watch him. He's such a horrible person. Well, here I am, motherfucker. Come and get me. I'm still here. What's your holdup? I've had this channel for 10 years. What are you waiting for? You know, if you're accusing me of wrongdoing, and not just morally, but legally, if I'm doing something wrong, why am I still sitting in this chair? Why is my warm ass still planted in this fucking chair if I did something illegal? Why am I not sitting behind bars? Time's ticking. I'm waiting. Do something. Or sit down and shut your fucking pie hole. Those are your only two options. But I'm doing okay. I'm all right today. We had a busy morning. Um, the battle itself for childhood cancer is long behind me, but it will never go away. It's permanent. Today, I'm healthy as far as I know. I'm very active, and I'm just doing my thing, man. I'm just out here doing my thing. I've learned how to do what the kids call staying in your own lane. I've learned how to do that, and I got to tell you, it's a bit rewarding. When I don't know everyone else's business, I don't care what people think about me, and I truly don't care what people think. I'm too busy doing my thing, living my life, and I'm trying to make the best out of bad situations for families who are scared and they don't know what to do. So I'm doing my absolute best. Um, I'm doing everything I can. I'm not perfect. I'm far from it, but I will continue to do whatever means necessary to help as much as I can, because I not only am I dedicated to what I do, but I am not shy about opening up about my battle with childhood cancer. I'm not shy about showing my battle scars. I'm not going to be quiet about the underfunding by our federal government when they don't make childhood cancer a priority. And we just had this bullshit with SNAP benefits, and people are still bitching and belly aching, which I never thought I would ever arrive at a time in the history of humanity where feeding children becomes a trivial thing. It's not trivial. Children need to eat. And I've said this now for the past 2 weeks, or the past two shows, I should say, because I wasn't here um, for a couple of weeks. It's never, we should not debate the fact that children need to be fed. I don't care how you feed them, just feed them. Your living arrangement is none of my business. Whether you work hard, because there is such a thing as a working poor.
Don't matter if you eat or not. Make sure the children eat.
My focus is to make sure that, or maybe not to make sure, but my focus is, how are the children going to eat? And a friend of mine's like, well, it's more or less how the parents are going to provide. It's the same fucking thing. It's the same result. It trickles down to the children. How are the children going to eat? Mr. Pedantic? Of course the parents have to get the food to feed the kids. They're not doing it their damn selves. They're children. Mr. fucking obvious? How are the kids going to eat? It always comes down to the kids. People have families to support and to take care of, children to feed. And when everybody's bitching and belly aching about SNAP benefits, it really shows privilege. Everybody is just one slip up away from needing EBT. Everybody is. I don't care how great you think you have it. That can be taken away in a split second. These programs are here for that reason, because one day you might need it. And then, if you think you're so privileged and high and mighty above everybody else, you are going to owe a lot of people an apology. They're going to hold your feet to the fire and say, hey, you thought you were better than us? Now look, now you're one of us. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. Tell me, how do those ramen noodles taste? When you can't afford, We're not eating prime rib every fucking night. Ramen noodles is a person's last chance at eating, satisfying a hunger.
I remember noodles and tomato juice and hamburgers.
Yeah,
Goulash.
I love goulash,
That's right. I love chili too.
and I'll be making that very soon.
I'm gonna get
But
my beer out here.
we have reached the 4:00 mark. We have been here for one whole hour. That hour goes by quickly. I'm going to do my quick little celebration for my book gathering for my journal writing today, because today marks 26 years that I've been writing journals. I didn't think I'd stick with it this long, but I have, and I'm very proud of myself for doing what I do, and no apologies. And I'm going to continue helping families in ways that most people will never know, except for the people whom of which I help. They're going to know. So I'm going to leave it on at that note. Dad, any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
Just take care of your neighbors and watch everybody. Be good to each other.
Watch everybody.
Well, watch out for everybody.
Watch everybody. I think Amy's in the bathroom.
Yeah. Just say peace out.
I'll give her a chance to come out and say whatever she's.
Cheers.
Fire away, Amy.
Peace out, be safe, and have a great rest of your day.
There you go. I'll echo what they said. Look after each other. Have a great rest of your day. Take care. And I'll be back next week to talk about more things that might piss people off. But anyway, I love you guys, and I thank you all for watching. I'll be back again next week. No Sunday Flashback tonight. Dan will return next week with a brand new Fox Sunday Flashback with Dan Richards. So, again, I love y'all. If you want to email me or if you have Facebook, look for me on Facebook. Send me a friend request. I'll add you. Just tell me who you are first before I accept your request. But I love you guys, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.